Good evening, one and all. Can you hear me? Yeah, fine. Thank you. I think still many students have not yet joined. Only 58 students joined till now. The last time I think 10 days back I forwarded the Kotantra report. Many students have not even done the 10 exercises, even though I have explained everything. So, but I don't know why you are not doing like that. Okay, so I already posted the material of 10 programs in the Great Learning itself. Okay, so please do it as soon as possible, guys. Okay. Because we have almost 33 exercises we have, but only we covered only 10 programs. And many students tried at least 5 to 6 programs other than 10 exercises. I think only 5 or 6, that's all. So I think because we are already in the fourth unit, I think many of the concepts we already covered, right? But anyway, if you are familiar, definitely you can try. Otherwise, I will tell you, don't worry, no problem. Okay. So, and prepare well for 1 2 examinations as well. Okay. So I don't want to scold you anything. Okay. So anyway, um, if I have the time, I will explain some programs day by day. Okay. So first of all, I would like to explain the next concept of the today's concept is some method overloading and overriding. So what happened, guys? Still 81 only. So, total 79 students only now. I think you are not maintaining time. Time is 5:34. So second CSC students only joined very less. Even final students are having external examinations. They are attending the classes. I'm really very happy because of you. Okay, so anyway, I will start then because I don't want to waste your time. Because why they are not joining 86 only now? Okay, fine. So the what is meant by method overriding and overriding? First of all, if you have the concept of in Java, we have the method overloading and overriding as well. Okay. So basically, all OOPS concepts like C++ and Python and Java will support like method overriding. So in Python, overloading is not there actually, but I will tell you how it will be done. Okay, so don't worry. So, but this is one of the important concept in a special entry point of view, guys. Okay, so they will explain, they will give you the question like what is the difference between a method overloading and overriding. Okay, let me explain 1 minute. We'll go to this bookmarks and differences. Okay, let me open this. Okay, so this is one of the table actually, but of course this is not belongs to Python. Okay, so this is just differences between a normal object oriented programming concepts like that. Okay, so I'm just opening this website. Okay, so here he is giving like so what is meant by method overloading, what is meant by method overriding. Let me take drawing tools. So 1 minute. Here, so what do you mean by overriding? What do you mean by overriding? You know already basically whenever I'm defining like DEF or something else, that is nothing but a method, you know already. Okay. In method overloading, Methods of the same class shares the same name, but each method must have different number of parameters or parameters having different types, data types, I think. Okay, so that means it is a different data types. So let me open an example because this is one somewhat very easy. Okay, so here I am giving like a, so I'm just for our understanding purpose, I'm just writing a C language example only. Uh, so you can see guys here, this is the, I think it is not, 1 minute, let me increase the font size. Okay, I think you are able to see now. Okay, so now let me explain this. I will tell you the example first, then I will tell you what is meant by method overloading and overriding. Overriding means it is an inheritance concept actually. Okay, that means we can implement polymorphism with inheritance. That is nothing but a overriding. So in C language, I am writing a simple example for this, like class add int sum a comma b. So this is not executable. It is not having any main. I'm just defining for like. So it's not a like C programming. We can class a. We can defining like class only. So it's just like CPP or whatever it may be, Java. No, that's not an issue. Okay. So it's not a C language. So let me explain now. So here it is a sum is a method, guys. Okay. So here sum is in having a parameter called int a. Here what is the parameter we are having? Int a comma b. That means here sum method is overloaded. This is called overloaded. That means whenever you are defining a method with different parameters, like if I am defining only one parameter here, I am defining with two parameters here. This is nothing but a overloading. Okay. For example, if I am defining the same function name, that means function name should be same. Okay, if the function name should be same. For example, if I'm calling like a sum of, if I'm calling like a sum of 20, okay, if I'm giving sum of 20 like that, so then it will execute this function only, because here one parameter is there like 20, like a 20 will be copied to a. If I'm giving sum of 10 comma 20, for example, if I'm giving sum 10 comma 20, then this function will be called, because based on the number of parameters we have. That means here the parameters are different. So that means the function name is same, the parameters are different. And once again, I would like to tell you here, I'm declaring a integer. Okay. If you're taking float also, that's not a problem. For example, I'm telling like if I'm taking float, okay. But if I'm telling the float, so here you can see, I will tell you the definition now. Okay. You can see the definition now in method overloading. Methods of the same class, that means like sum, shares the same name, but each method must have different number of parameters or parameters having different data types, different types on the order. Okay, so that means order means whether two parameters or three parameters, whatever the number. So this is nothing but overloading. Now what is meant by overriding? So in method overriding, subclass have the same method with same name and exactly the same number and type of parameters and same return type as a superclass. So that is what is the difference between this one and this one. So basically in interviews, they will ask what is the alternative name for method overloading. What is the alternative name for method overriding? They will ask this question in interview point of view. So it's very important, guys. Okay. So this is the compile time polymorphism. This is runtime polymorphism. But basically Python does not support compile time polymorphism. So even that's the reason Python does not support method overloading concept. Okay. So I will tell you, don't worry. So I will give you an example. Okay, that means same method name with different signature, same method name with same signature. So this is the difference between overriding means you are calling the same method name with the same number of parameters, that's all. But here inheritance concept is there in method overriding, inheritance concept is not there in method overloading, because you can define only one class with different functionality, with different functions. Okay, you can define only one class. If I'm defining two classes, class A that is super class, if I'm giving class B, that is subclass here. Okay, so that means here I'm giving a subclass like that. It is just like a B inherits the class, it's just like Java, but in Java we have to give B extends here like that. Okay, so but I forgot to give in like this is some website is there. Okay, so I think that is the problem only, but it is not, it is just a Java example I'm telling. Okay, if I'm giving here class A and class B, here I am giving a display method. You can see display method, the same number of parameters in num, here also in num. That means same method name is calling twice in superclass as well as subclass. This is called method overriding. That means you are riding, you are overwriting like this. That is the reason it's called as a overriding. Okay, that means so in overriding inheritance concept is there, in overloading inheritance concept is not there, and the number of parameters should not be same. In overloading the number of parameters should be
same in the overriding. And why does Python does not support that means method overloading means because basically when you are defining a parameters like int a, if I am giving float a also it is valid, but basically Python does not support the data types whenever you are declaring a variable name inside the brackets, that is a like parameter. So for that reason overloaded concept is not there in Python. Okay, hope you understand guys. I will give you the example, don't worry. So once again I'm telling the alternative name for the method overloading is compile time polymorphism. The alternative name for the method overriding is a runtime polymorphism. In runtime polymorphism, that means in method overriding, inheritance concept should be there. That means you have to use two classes. Okay, so let me move to the concept now because that is not for Python. So that's the reason I have skipped that. So basically in interviews they will ask the question, what is the difference between method overloading and overriding? I think hope you understand what is the method overloading and overriding. That means whenever you are calling a method name with same name with different parameters is called overloading. They're the same name with the same parameters. That means same number of parameters and same signature. Same signature in the sense same data type signature like that. Okay. So that is nothing but a overriding. So let me move to the method overloading and method overriding. So this is like a polymorphism concept is somewhat similar to. That's the reason I have given a heading like implementing a polymorphism in Python with inheritance. So before going to do that, I would like to tell this theory part. Okay, method overloading is a concept of object oriented programming. Method overriding is a concept of object oriented programming that allows us to change the implementation of a function in the child class that is defined in the parent class. That means that method should be defined in the parent class, but the functionality or implementation you can change in the child class. That is the flexibility we have. It is the ability of a child class to change the implementation of any method. That means you can change the functionality also even, which is already provided by one of its parent class. That means that is the ancestor actually to call it as. Okay, so here that means the method should be provided by parent class only. So now what are the conditions we have to met for overriding a function? Okay, method overriding or overriding methods, so whatever it may be called as. Okay, I mean C language in CPP also we have this topic. I think you definitely get that concept. Okay, in Java also it's very important guys. Okay, so now inheritance should be there in method overriding. Okay, so in method overriding inheritance should be there, and function overriding cannot be done with a class within a class. That means it cannot be done within a single class. It have we need to derive a child class from a parent class, then only inheritance concept will be there. Okay, so the function that is redefined in the child class should have the same signature as in the parent class, that is same number of parameters. Just now I already told you. So implementing polymorphism in Python with inheritance. Okay, we will be defining functions in the derived class that has the same name as the functions in the base class. Here we re-implement the functions in the derived class. The phenomenon of re-implementing the function in the derived class is known as a method overriding. So that's all. It's very easy, guys. So you know already what is a derived class. Okay, so can you please tell me guys, derived class is also called as what? Can you please send me in the chat box? Derived class is also called as what? Oh, very good, very good. Hi, all are you telling? All of you telling the right correct answers only today. Yes, very good, guys. I'm very happy. Base class is the super class. Base class is the opposite is a derived class. Okay, so that means derived class is also called as a subclass or a child class. Okay, I think you are familiar right now. Okay, I'm very happy, guys. Thank you very much. So for your response, and let me move to the simple example of method overriding. I will give you a general example only because in the syllabus also they mentioned like use real time example. That's the reason I have given a small example. Okay, it's easy. It's very easy, guys. Okay, so you can also define like polymorphism concept with inheritance. That both should be there in this concept actually. So let me run this. You see guys, here I'm writing a simple program for your understanding purpose. Okay, because I don't want to give you large examples for the understanding the concept. Okay, So basically method overriding means, so we are using two methods, we are using two classes, and that inside inheritance concept should be there. That means here you can see the program class employee, class department. If it is both are there, it is just a classes, that's all. If I'm mentioning employee in brackets, this means it is a derived class. Department is a derived class. Department is a derived class. That means it is like a child class. It is like a child class. And employee is the parent class. Okay. It is employee is the parent class. Here you can if you want to know here, I am using a def like message. Here message is a function. Here message is a function and self is a parameter. It is a optional parameter, you know. So basically whenever you're defining a method and self parameter should be there, you know already according to Python rule. So def of message of self, and I am defining of def message of self in both the classes. In both the classes. Okay. That means message means method name is same in both the classes. And how many parameters we have? You don't have any parameters. Okay. Because I'm not passing anything. Okay. I'm not passing anything here only. Okay. So that means the zero number of parameters are there. Okay. So now here I'm creating an object for derived class. Okay. So I'm creating an object for derived class, that is dept equal to department. That means I'm creating an object for the subclass that is called child class. So I think you know here we have message. Both functions are named same. That means here it is a derived class. If I am giving dept dot message, which message will be executed? Because so employee is also part of the department, because employee is the superclass for the department. Whenever you are giving such cases, okay, subclass overrides the superclass method. That means here the subclass method body will be only executed. Okay. So that is nothing but a overriding, guys. It's very easy concept. Okay. So now let me run this code. This department class is inherited from employee. So I'm writing the message in the print statement. This department class is inherited from employee. So that will be executed. So this will not be executed. This will not be executed. Of course, it is a superclass, because overriding means a subclass overrides the superclass method when we are giving a same name. That means subclass method will not be executed. Okay. If you want to execute the superclass method, then you need to create an object for employee and you have to call the e dot message like that. Then this message from employee class will be displayed. Okay. That means this is nothing but a overriding. It's very easy, guys. Okay. So if you want to do any more examples, you can do it's with parameters also you can do. But if you're passing one parameter in department, for example, let us assume, but definitely you have to follow this. That means, for example, if I'm giving a message, if I'm giving I'm giving my name. Okay. For example, I'm giving my name. Then you have to give the same number of parameters in def message as well as in this def message as well. Okay. That means whenever the superclass having one method with one parameter, subclass also should be followed with the same method name and same number of parameters. That is called as a method overriding. Okay, hope you understand, guys. So if you want me to run the first class printf statement, I would like to create another object. I would like to give e equal to employee e dot message. Okay. If I'm running this program, then this message is from employee class also will be printed. This message is from employee class also will be printed. Okay. Here, why it is called as a polymorphism also? Because here yesterday I already told you, whenever I am calling a function, okay, whenever I am calling a function with the same name, that is also, it is a polymorphism like that, you know already. That's the reason this concept is also called as polymorphism with inheritance. So that's the reason I have given an heading like a polymorphism implementing polymorphism in Python with inheritance. That's the reason I have given a heading like that. Let me underline it 1 minute. Okay. So this is very easy, guys. Now I would like to go for overloading. That means here it will not be possible. I already told you. Okay. So here once again you can see these two lines. Inheritance should be there. Function overriding cannot be done. in a class, we need to derive a child class from a parent class. The function that is redefined in the child class should have the same signature in the parent class, that is the same number of parameters. Okay, these are the two conditions in overriding. Now this is called runtime polymorphism also. Now compile time polymorphism or method overloading. Unlike many other popular object-oriented programming languages such as Java, okay, such as Java, for example, if you are comparing with Java, Python does not support compile time polymorphism or method overloading. Why? Because I already told you, if you're giving a function name with arguments, okay, with method signature, it is not possible, because you cannot give a you cannot give a, for example, if I'm giving a parameter, like for example, if I'm giving like message of if I'm giving a message of, for example, I'm giving my name, okay. So if I'm giving a message of my name like that, okay, if I'm just giving an example, okay. If I'm giving here one name, if I'm giving name 1 comma name 2 in the message body, that means if here I'm taking a name 1 comma name 2, here I'm taking name 1 comma name 2, like that. So it is possible, but here we cannot display the name 1 like str string 1 like that, because in Java, in C++, whatever it may be, the function name should have the function. Whenever you are getting a called function, this is like a called function, the called function should have a data type as well as parameters also. So basically this is the syntax we follow in Java and CPP. Okay, that means here there is no integer like that. You cannot pass the particular parameters by using data types in Python, already. Okay, whenever I am passing, yesterday also we discussed so many examples. Let me open it once again. Let me open it. Okay, so here yesterday I'll discuss some programs. Here you can see, whenever you are just watch the programs. Okay, I'm giving calculate area of self like that. That means I'm taking only self parameter like that. Otherwise we also run some examples with other variables, like here you can see, guys. So or you can see this add method or whatever it may be, you can take r comma I like that. Okay, but here I'm not using like integer. If I'm not using like float, I'm not defining anything like that. Okay, that is the reason only Python does not support method overloading concept. Okay, so hope you understand, guys. Now I would like to move further next concept in our syllabus, according to our syllabus. Okay, so adding and retrieving dynamic attributes of a classes. Okay, so this is one of the topic we have according to our syllabus. What is this attributes, first of all? Okay, so for example, if the class having a parameters or nothing but these are the attributes already. Let me give an example. Okay, because whenever I'm telling in the theory concept, so you no need to you may not understand like that. Okay, so I will give you a clarity, guys, don't worry. So 1 minute. First of all, one class contains variables, methods, and all already. For example, here basically when you are calling like attributes, okay, what are the attributes of a classes, and how can you add those attributes values, and how can you retrieve, that means how can you access those values. Okay, so this is nothing but dynamic means always changing like that. Okay, you can also change the attributes names as well. I will tell you the different examples, don't worry. So here some built-in functions are defined in class. So in this following table, these are called Python in built-in class functions actually. So for attributes, these are the inbuilt class functions for attributes only. Okay, so what are the functions? Here we have actually 4 functions: get attribute, set attribute, delete attribute, and has attribute. So here the shortcut name for function is get attr. So you have to give that name only, because this is a built-in function. That means these functions are defined by the Python developers, that's all. Okay, so that is nothing but a predefined functions or built-in functions, we call it as like that. Okay, so what is the purpose of a get attribute? It is used to access the attribute of the object, the default value that need to be printed in case attribute is not found, like that. So it is taking 3 parameters. Default is one of the value and the object name one. If I'm telling get attribute, these are the definitions you may not understand. Let me move to the example, then only you can understand definitely. So I will give you an example. Don't think about the length. Okay, I will explain each and every function for your understanding purpose. I will explain each and every function. Okay, then only you can understand the program, because when I am telling entire program you may not understand clearly. Okay. Okay, fine guys. First of all, I am taking a student class. You know that init method is there. That means whenever you are calling a student, that means I am creating s equal to student object like that. So that means here it is calling the particular constructor. So this is called a constructor. Okay. So here John 101 22. That means name is John, ID is 101, age is 22. These parameters will be called to the particular constructor. Okay, so because init def init means it is a initializing the constructor. So whenever you are creating an object for the particular class student, so these values will be copied. That means these are called as a parameterized constructor. We already discussed about that earlier. Okay, we know that okay, parameterized constructor, non-parameter constructor. Just now we discussed about a non-parameter, like we did not give any parameter like that. Okay, like employee or message, whatever it may belong. Okay, so anyway, let me move to the s equal student of John 101 22. Why I have given a John in double quotes? Because John is a string. John is a string. You can also use single quotes in Python, you know already. Okay, so here name is John, 101 is ID, 22 is age. Okay, so here just think in that way. I'm giving get attribute of yes comma name. Okay, I'm giving get attribute of s comma name. Here s is a object for the particular student class. Okay, it prints the attribute name of the object s. What is the that means here what is the attribute means what is the value of the name. That means which value is there? John. So John is the attribute value. So here I'm running this code only. I'm getting John. I think hope you understand what is a get attribute now. Okay, so once again I'm telling get attribute means here the question itself, you can just see the syllabus. Then only you can understand why I'm telling these concepts. Many students are getting doubt about that. Okay, so I will tell you, because according to syllabus I always used to tell you, don't worry. Okay, so you can see the concept here. So after overloading operators and all, adding and retrieving dynamic attributes of classes, and after programming using OOPS support. This is not a topic actually. Programming using OOPS support means whatever the OOPS concept we discussed here, we have to give a programming. That's as earlier also we have the concept programming using file operations like that. Okay, we have a programming using OOPS support. Okay, so we already completed inheritance and polymorphism as well. You know already objects and classes also completed. You know. So anyway, so I would like to discuss about adding and retrieving dynamic attributes of classes. This is the concept actually. That means in classes we are having a values. Those are nothing but attributes. Okay. So here adding and retrieving. That means whenever you are getting a value, that means this is called retrieving. This is called retrieving. Okay. Hope you understand now. So now you can see the table. Now you can see the table. Okay. Here I am giving obj name. That means obj stands for yes. Yes is an object here. So yes is a generalized object. You can give any variable like a equal to, like you can also give a. That's all. That's not a problem at all. Okay. That is not a problem at all. I'm giving a. That is also object code. So when I'm running this code, I'm getting John. So if I'm changing any name like okay, if I'm giving any name like Raz, okay, I'm giving any name like Raz, it will print like Raz. That's all. So that means get attribute stands for it will give the object name. After that we have to give what name. Name is nothing but a key. That means whatever the key name, whatever the parameter we have, that is the name actually. Okay. Here name is not a here basically that syntax is matching here. So you can give any name, not a name. Okay, you can give so ID. If I'm giving ID, okay. So can you please tell me which value I will get from this list? Can you please tell me in the chat box? If I'm giving ID instead of name, which value will be the output? I'm asking that question. You can see the constructor this. Excellent guys, excellent. So you're telling 100% correct answer. That is absolutely fine. Thank you guys. So now I will run the code. Now I will run the code again. I'm getting 101. Hope you understand now. So what is attribute now? So the concept is very easy, guys. Basically, they will give the syllabus like adding and retrieving dynamic attribute classes. I mean, you're thinking like, what is this concept like? It's a very easy concept, sir. Okay, so let me move it. So 1 minute, let me give name only. Okay. So because in other variables also I am using s only, so I'm moving like s only. Okay, so for your understanding purpose, I'm telling. Okay, then what is about the third parameter, sir? What is default parameter, sir? You are not giving according to syntax. I am giving only two parameters here. Then how can it is printing? Because default means whenever you are not getting any name like that. For example, I am giving ID1. I am giving ID1. Actually, there is no parameter called ID. So there is no parameter called ID1 because here ID is there. Here ID is there. Whenever you are giving get attribute, if you are giving ID, then only it will get the value like 101. If you are giving age, then only it will get the value as 22. Okay. If you are giving age 1 or ID1, that will not be there. Then so what will be what will value will get? You will get error. You will get error actually. Student object has no attribute ID1. So this is called attribute error. Okay. This is called, that means you know what is an attribute now. That means we are retrieving the value of a attribute by using the function called get attribute. Now, in order to remove this error, if you want, that means if there is no ID is matched in a particular class, if there is no, that means the class is nothing but whatever the object we are mapped here. Okay. Here I am giving ID1, I am giving 0. That means if they, please wait a second. Sorry guys. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so get attribute of s comma id1 comma 0. I am passing 0 now. So here I am passing 0 means whenever I am getting like any error like this, in order to remove the error, if you want to get 0 means there is no such attribute. Okay, then it will return 0. You can also give 0 like that. Then it is getting like 0. Then it is getting like 0 only. That means whatever the number you are giving. That means here you can see now it is used to access the attribute of the object. Okay, the default value that need to be printed in case attribute is not found. That means that what is the default value? If you want to assign a 0, then it will print the default value as 0 if the attribute is not found, in order to remove the error. That means, so if you want to remove the error, you can add one more parameter like 0 or 1, whatever it may be. That's not an issue. It will get like 1. That means you are giving a default value as 1. That's all. Okay, so in that way you can use this. Okay, so I am removing this. So I am giving name only. So like as I told you earlier. So let me run this now. It will print Raz. Okay, now I will move to the next concept like set attribute. So now you are able to see access. What is nothing but access? Access means retrieving. This part is completed now. Okay, dynamic attributes means you can access any attribute. What is meant by dynamic? Dynamic means you can access age, you can access ID, whatever it may be, guys. Okay, so now what is nothing but adding? That means if you want to add or set, add or set, whatever it may be. Okay, that means if you want to add, like, you can use set attribute. So now let me move to the concept called set attribute. So here, what is the difference between get attribute and set attribute? Okay, so I hope you understand now what is a get attribute. Let me call the next method. You can see the next line. Set attribute s comma age 23. I am passing 3 values here. According to the syntax, okay, object, name, value. You can set, you can give any new value to the particular attribute. You can give any new value to the particular attribute. Okay, that means if you are giving set attribute s comma age comma 23 means reset the value of attribute age to 23. Earlier the age of the student is 22 actually, but if you are giving set attribute of s comma age comma 23, then you will get the output like 1 minute. Let me run it, guys. So 1 minute. So I would like to print actually. If it will just set only. If you want to print, then only it will print, guys. I will give you print only. Okay, don't worry. So prints the modified value of age. That means if I want to print again, because it is set attribute means it does not return anything. It just sets the particular age. If you want to retrieve whether age value is changed or not, again you have to give print get attribute of s comma age. Then the particular student age will be printed like prints the modified value of age. Now I would like to run this code. Now age is 23. Earlier Raj value is 22, age value is 22, it is 23 now. So because you are changing the object name and the age you are giving, that means age is a attribute. Okay, you can also change ID as well because it is dynamic, guys. You can change anything. whatever you want. Okay, so I think I hope you understand what is a get attribute and set attribute. Let me introduce the next method, like has attribute. Has attribute. So let me open has attribute meaning. Okay, so for example, if you're giving has attribute, it returns true if the object contains some specific attribute. If you want to check whether the particular attribute is existed in the particular class or not, if you want to see, you can see, guys. Okay, so for example, here I am giving has attribute of s comma id, whether the student is having id attribute or not. Yes, it is there. It returns the boolean value. If it is there, it will return the true, otherwise it will print the false. Okay, so let me run this. So age it, that means here whatever the parameter I am giving id, so id parameter is there, already. So Raj 23 true, it is printing like that. For example, if I'm giving has attribute s comma, because here you, according to our constructor, name id is, these three are the attributes already. Okay, for example, I'm giving I is, for example, if I'm giving is, okay, so I'm running the code again, I will get 3 true again. I will get true again. Okay, for example, if I'm giving has attribute of age 1, for example, I'm giving age 1, it is getting false because there is no attribute like age 1. Okay, so this is nothing but a example of has attribute. Okay, so it returns true if the object contains some specific attribute or not. That's all, it will check like that. So the last method is called as a delete attribute. Okay, so according to ourselves, adding means you can add you can set the new value like that. That is nothing but adding. That's all. Okay, so for example, if I would like to deal for deletion attribute. Okay, so let me move it for del attribute. These are predefined functions. Okay, if I'm giving get attribute of like, for example, if I'm giving get attribute like that, it will get error. It will get error because undefined name get attribute, because these are built-in functions for attributes. Okay, so that's the reason we have to remember the names of the functions, otherwise you cannot go on to this topic actually. Okay, so let me move to the next concept, like delete attribute. So the shortcut function is, the built-in function is del attribute of s comma is. For example, here I am giving has attribute of age 1, that is false actually. So I am giving age only, that means it will be true now. Okay, according to it is true now. If I am giving del attribute of s comma age, it will basically takes only two parameters. That is, one is the object obj and age. That means whatever the attribute we have. Okay, so if I am giving age, now age attribute will be removed, deleted from the particular constructor. That means whatever the function we are using, student of age id like that, so age will be removed automatically. Then I would like to print the age of the particular student now. S dot age I am giving like that. Then it will get an error because age is removed, right? So that's the reason it is getting error. Okay. First of all, let me comment this. Let me comment this first. Okay. I will comment the delete attribute. I will run the entire code now. I will run the entire code now. You can see the output. You can see the output here. So Raj is there, 23 is printing, and 2 is printing, 23 is also printing. Okay. Now I will show the difference. So if I am giving deletion attribute, okay, I am running the code again. I will get an error. I will get an error because student object has no attribute as. That means obviously our operation is successful, because delete attribute means our attribute is deleted from the particular constructor. That means whatever the object you are giving yes, that means it will be deleted from the memory. So that's the reason it is getting student object has no attribute s. So this is the concept of adding and retrieving dynamic attributes of the classes. Okay, so this is, guys, and 1 minute, let me save this. Now I would like to discuss some examples of code tantra examples, because many students are not doing, so I don't know why they are not doing. So I will because I have only some small amount of time, 1 minute, so I will give you only easy examples. I will explain, no problem. So 1 minute. So 10, 11, which one is preferable? Random number generator, write a program to remove duplicate element in the list. 1 minute, let me open it. And 1 minute. What is the number actually? 15 or 15? Okay, 15. You can see guys, this is one of the example in our lab program. So I would like to explain this programs, okay, because we already covered a lot of the concepts in syllabus, you know already, okay. So because you are lagging in some lab programs, and Lexus 11th is somewhat big program, I will tell you, don't worry, because I think time is not enough for that. So I think it will be completed within time, that's all, no problem. So write a program to remove all the duplicate elements from a list. What is nothing but a duplicate element from a list? You know already, basically list is a collection of elements of different data types. You know already guys, okay. If I am giving a list of elements, okay. So like I am giving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2 like that, okay. Here, which one are the duplicate element? Which one are the duplicate elements? Can you please tell me in the chat box which elements are called as duplicate elements in this given list? Is number 3 is a duplicate element? You just think in like that, okay, okay. What are the elements, what are the list elements or duplicates here, okay? I'm asking that question. Everybody is saying the answer. Okay, very good. Anyone done this program, guys? Anyone done this program? Because only 5 or 6 students only done this. Very easy examples. I have already gone through your programs list. How many are doing like that? Actually, I thought like yes, Venkatrao is giving like the he already done this example. Very good, Venkatrao. I'm not giving any big programs. I'm just giving a easy examples only. Okay, because 34 exercises are there. If you want to write in your code, that means you can write in your way. That's not a problem at all. Okay. So if you don't want to write that program, that means you are unable to find that answer. I will tell you, don't worry. Okay, but you just try, guys, please. Okay. Okay. Now, then I will explain this program now. Everybody is saying the answer like 1, 2. That is the answer, the correct answer. Because here 1 is repeated twice. 1 is there here, 1 is there here, and 2 is there here, 2 is there here. Okay. 3, 4, 5 are the unique elements. Okay. So that means here, then the program should print the elements like here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. That means here, according to the representation, we have to get like that. List after removing all duplicates. That means removing duplicates means you have to print only one time. Okay, you have to print only one time. Removing all duplicates means, okay, that means the list will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now I will run the code and I will explain them. I will give you the same numbers, then enter list of elements separated by comma. Okay, so I'm giving split function with comma. You know already, according to split function, you know rules. Okay, so I'm giving with comma. Okay, so let me give 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 1 comma 2. Okay, so here I would like to give 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 1 comma 2. So I'm getting answer, successfully submitted the question. I'm getting the answer, right? So here you can see, so you want to print the elements, you have to print the elements like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. That means you have to print the given list elements. Okay, this is the question actually. You know, need to print actually according to the question, because you're giving like test cases, you know. So I already told you, I already forwarded the TCS questions, you know. So from 2 days, I think yesterday from evening onwards, I'm sharing a lot of material to you. So that means those are the questions. So those are the drive. That means you know. So for COVID reason, they are TCS is conducting online examinations. Okay, you can write the examination from home itself. Okay, and you will get an opportunity with that. You will get an opportunity in that company. If you got selected in the written test, they will conduct a virtual interview. That's all. So virtual interview is nothing but online interview, like we are doing online classes like that. Okay, that's all. There is only 2 rounds like that. Okay, that means if you're getting a TCS means your life will be settled, guys. Okay, so how they are asking question is, are they asking like the questions like reverse number palindrome? No, there is a question called washing machine. What is about washing machine? They will give you a question to think like a robot. Actually, they will give the questions like that. Okay, that means they are very easy, guys. That's the reason object-oriented programming concepts covers all the concepts related to that question actually. Okay, so in that question, whenever you are doing answers for that question, so there is a good company actually Face. Okay, they are preparing the questions and with the answers as well. Okay, you just try with the question first. If you are not getting the answer, then you should see the answer, guys. Okay, because if you see the answer, you just see the code, you may not get the logic forever. Okay, so just try, because why I am sharing all the programs, all the material, because why they are adding a aptitude and reasoning, because every for example, if you want to develop a new project, you just have a good logical thinking first of all. That's the reason, and they are giving even in bank examination also. Bank examinations also having aptitude and reasoning. You should think, because you are in the second year, of course, but within a 1 year you will get an opportunity with TCS, because now our Bhavani and Veni also done, they completed today, they completed exam today, okay, you know, they're third year only. That means within 1 year you will get an opportunity, guys. Okay, that's the reason I'm telling you, just see the code, because many students not even understanding the questions itself. So you don't think about the program. Okay, so that's the reason I'm asking, because so నేను చెప్తున్నానండి మామూలుగా, నేను ఇంజనీరింగ్ కాలేజీలో ఇక్కడ ఫ్యాకల్టీగా జాయిన్ అయిన తర్వాత ఒక 10 నెలలు ఎవరికి కూడా నేను టీచ్ చేయలేదు. మీ సెకండ్ సిఎస్సి వాళ్ళకి చేశాను, ఇప్పటివరకు ఎవరికి చెప్పలేదు అలా. అందుకే మీరు సిఎస్సి వాళ్ళు కావాలి, సి లాంగ్వేజ్ని రివిజన్ టాపిక్స్ లో పెట్టలేదు మీరు. బట్ ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ నేను ప్రామిస్ చేస్తున్నాను, ఎందుకంటే టైం టేబుల్ ప్రకారమే చెప్పమన్నారు, మీకు బర్త్డే అవ్వకూడదని. అందుకే నేను సోమవారం మంగళవారం చెప్తాను అని అన్నాను. ఓకే, సో బట్ మీరు సి లాంగ్వేజ్ నేను ఎప్పుడంటే రేపు ల్యాబ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ జరిగినప్పుడు ఎప్పుడో ఒకసారి ఫిజికల్ గా చెప్తానండి క్లాస్, ఖచ్చితంగా ఒక 2 days ఖచ్చితంగా చెప్తాను. అప్పుడు మీకు కొంచెం రివిజన్ అవునట్టు ఉంటుంది. కానీ నేను చెప్తే సాధారణంగా చాలా మంది ఏమంటారంటే, సార్ ఒకసారి చెప్తే సబ్జెక్ట్ మళ్ళీ చూసుకోక్కర్లేదు, అంత బాగా గుర్తుంటది అంటారు. మరి సో మీకు ఎంతవరకు గుర్తుందో నాకు తెలియదండి, బికాజ్ పైథాన్ చెప్పేసాను కాబట్టి మరి రెండు కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవుతారో ఏంటో. బికాజ్ స్టూడెంట్ మైండ్ ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే కొంచెం డైవర్ట్ అవుతుంది ఎప్పుడైనా సరే. సో ఎందుకంటే మీకు కొంచెం ఇంకా మీ ఏజ్ లెవెల్ తక్కువ కాబట్టి కొంచెం ఎవరికైనా ఉంటుంది, సో నేను ఒప్పుకుంటాను. బట్ నేను ఆన్లైన్లో ఇంకా చెప్పనండి సి లాంగ్వేజ్, ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పటికే 2 times చెప్పాను మీకు సి లాంగ్వేజ్, మీకు తెలుసు. సో నేను ఇంత ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ ఇంత పర్ఫెక్ట్గా సి పైథాన్ చెప్పానంటే మీరు ఖచ్చితంగా ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఓన్గా ట్రై చేయండి బాస్, ప్లీజ్. ఓకే, ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఆల్ ద స్టూడెంట్స్ హియర్. సో ఆ ఫేస్లో పంపిన క్వశ్చన్ చదివి మీరు ఆన్సర్ ట్రై చేయండి, దొరకకపోతే అప్పుడు ఆన్సర్ చూడండి. ఓకే, సో ప్లీజ్ గైస్. ఓకే, సో ఎనీవే, అండ్ దే విల్ గివ్ ఏ క్వశ్చన్. వన్ క్వశ్చన్ చూసాను నేను అందులో. సో ఏదో క్వశ్చన్ ఇచ్చాడు, ఏంటంటే దాని ఆన్సర్ 1 minute లెట్ మీ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్. సో ఏదో విచ్ ఆన్సర్ విల్ రిలేటెడ్ టు ద 7 అని ఇచ్చాడు. సో ఆప్షన్ ఏంటంటే సీల్ ఆఫ్ 6.3 అనేది ఇచ్చాడు ఆన్సర్. దట్ మీన్స్ సీల్ ఆఫ్ 6.3 విల్ గివ్ ద 7 అనమాట. అది ఆన్సర్ సీల్. ఇలాంటి బిట్స్ కూడా ఇచ్చాడు. నేను చెప్పాను సీల్ అంటే టాప్ వాల్యూ 6.1 ఇచ్చినా 7 వస్తుంది, 6.99 ఇచ్చినా 7 వస్తుంది అని చెప్పాను నేను. ఓకే, సో మీకు ఆల్రెడీ తెలిసి ఇవన్నీ. ఓకే, సో బికాస్ వై, సో ఈవెన్ నేను సి చెప్పినప్పుడు వీళ్ళతో కొంచెం తెలుగులో మాట్లాడాను, కానీ అసలు పైథాన్ మధ్యలోంచి నేను మ్యాక్సిమం ఎక్కువ ఇంగ్లీష్లోనే చెప్తున్నాను, ఎందుకంటే మీకు ఇంగ్లీష్ కూడా అడుగుతాడు. ఎక్స్టర్నల్ ఈ టీసీఎస్ కంపెనీ వాటిల్లో ఇంగ్లీష్ కూడా ఉంటుంది గ్యారంటీగా, మీకు తెలియదు ఇవన్నీ. ఓకే, సో నాకేంటంటే నేను దాని పేరేంటి చెప్పడం మర్చిపోయాను, నాకు ఈ మధ్య తెలుగు కూడా రావట్లేదు సార్ ఇంకా. 1 minute. సో ఈ యూఎస్ వాళ్ళకి ఈవినింగ్ ఇంగ్లీష్, నైట్ నేను ఇంగ్లీష్లోనే చెప్పాలి, వాళ్ళకి తెలుగు రాదు కదా. సో వాళ్ళ క్లాస్ చెప్తున్నప్పుడు నేను ఆటోమేటిక్గా మీతో కూడా మాట్లాడితే బెస్ట్, మీరు కూడా నేర్చుకుంటారని చెప్పేసి నేను ఏదో ట్రై చేస్తున్నాను అనమాట అలా. సో వాళ్ళకి కంప్లీట్ ఇంగ్లీష్లోనే చెప్తాను, వాళ్ళకి తెలుగు రాదు యాక్చువల్గా. సో యూ కెన్ సీ హియర్. ఓకే, సో యాక్చువల్లీ దే విల్ గివ్ almost every day 9:15 to 10:15. These are the various examples I am telling like that. Okay, so ఇది వాళ్ళకి చెప్తాను అనమాట నేను. సో 80% వాళ్ళు చూడండి, వాళ్ళు ఇంగ్లీష్లో చెప్తున్నా ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ 5 out of 5 ఇస్తున్నారు. ఇక్కడ మన స్టూడెంట్లకి తెలుగులో చెప్తున్నా ఇంగ్లీష్లో చెప్తున్నా కూడా 4.8 కూడా ఇస్తున్నారు. అసలు చెప్తున్నాను. ఓకే, నాకు ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ ఏం అవసరం లేదు, కానీ సో దే ఆర్ రిలేటివ్స్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ మేనేజ్మెంట్. ఓకే, సో చెప్తున్నాను అసలు, అంటే వాళ్ళకి అంత బాగా అర్థమవుతుంది నేను చెప్పేది. యుఎస్ స్టూడెంట్స్ అంటున్నారు నాతో. ఓకే, అసలు చెప్తున్నాను మీతో. సో ఎవ్రీడే దే ఆర్ గివింగ్ 5 rating లైక్ దట్. 9:15 to 10:15 చెప్తాను నేను వాళ్ళు. సో మీరు ఎందుకు నేర్చుకోకూడదు? నేను అందుకే ఇంగ్లీష్లోనే ఎక్కువ చెప్తాను. కారణం ఏంటంటే నేను సీలో ఎప్పుడు కూడా మీతో చాలా సరదాగా మాట్లాడేవాడిని. నేను అందుకే నేను కూడా ఇంప్రూవ్ అయినట్టు ఉంటుందని నేను ఇంగ్లీష్లో మాట్లాడుతున్నాను ఎప్పుడు కూడా. ఓకే, సో దయచేసి ప్లీజ్ గైస్, ఇంగ్లీష్ అంటే వెర్బల్, యాప్టిట్యూడ్, రీజనింగ్, ప్రోగ్రామింగ్. సో ఈ 4 మెయిన్ అండి మీకు జాబ్ రావాలంటే. దయచేసి బాగా హార్డ్ వర్క్ చేయండి. ఇవాళ పేపర్లో కూడా వేసాడు, అది కూడా నేను ఆర్టికల్ పెడతాను. ఈ మధ్య అన్ని కూడా ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ అయిపోయిందని. సో ఇక్కడ ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే ఇదంతా వాడి టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ ఇస్తాడు. సో టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ మీన్స్ దీస్ ఆర్ ద టెస్ట్ కేసెస్. హియర్ దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ టెస్ట్ కేస్ 1. సో దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ టెస్ట్ కేస్ 2. ఇలా అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, సో టెస్ట్ కేస్ 1 అంటే ఇక్కడ ఇన్పుట్ ఎలా అయితే ఇచ్చాడో అలాగే రావాలి మీకు అవుట్పుట్. దట్ మీన్స్ 1 2 3 4 5 1 2. That means list after removing all duplicates. That means whatever the line, even if you're giving colon also, if you're not giving colon also, they will give error like small error. It will be displayed like that. Okay, so test cases will not be completed. That's the reason many students are liking our code tantra, because it will check whether colon is also not there, because colon is not part of the code. Even when you are doing a lot of programs here, okay. So I always used to give after input like enter any given list. If I'm giving enter any given list, after that I am giving like a colon like that. So basically I will give, but it is not a mandatory actually. Okay. So but according to in external, like in an interview point of view, if they will give a question like that, you have to pass all test cases. Then only you will get clear in the particular examination. Then you obviously you have a 10 minutes or 20 minutes of in technical interview. That's all. That should be final actually. And some may conduct a HR interview at the same time. But the first so the first part is you have to clear the written test, you know. So just practice all the codes, because some codes are there in Java also. Many of the codes I have seen that documents. Okay, so they're giving Java questions as well. You just try, boss, please. Okay, because if you are not doing all these 34 programs, I'm not thinking like that. Okay, you just try those programs. Those are very important, because if you're practicing HackerRet or HackerRank, then definitely you can solve these codes. Okay, if you have the free time, definitely you can utilize in that website. Okay, so because I always used to follow HackerRank only. Okay, if you want to practice, you can also practice. You can just create an account. It's an open account. You don't need to pay anything. It's you just create it with your email ID. You will get every day, you will get one code. You can try to solve that code. That's all. That is very easy. So anyway, now I am taking data is a variable, guys. Input, enter list of elements separated by comma. Okay, so enter list of elements separated by comma. So I'm giving a question like enter list of elements separated by comma here. Okay, so what are the test cases here? You can see here, you can see test case 1. Okay, so you can see test case 2, test case 3, test case 4. They're giving 4 test cases here. Okay, so here some test cases are hidden actually. Some may get like hidden test cases. Hidden test cases means you are unable to find actually. But means there is a logical mistake is there in the logic, then it is called a hidden error like that. Okay, hidden test case, like hidden failure like that. Okay, so anyway, I will tell you. I'm just discussing for test cases like that. I will explain the program now. So enter list of elements separated by comma. This is just a print statement, you know already. So I'm giving input function means it takes a list of elements, enter list of elements separated by so here I am taking 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. How it is taking, 1 minute. Let me show it. Here I am writing t1 equal to data dot split of comma. Why I have given this question actually? So here I am giving a question. So list 1 equal to data dot split means whenever you are giving a list items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. Okay, so here you are giving comma means you are allowing the comma in the runtime. Basically when you are giving a split function, like if you want, you just give enter, or enter is mainly preferable actually. So compared to space, enter is mainly preferable. So 1 minute. So here I am giving a comma means it will allow the particular data which allows the comma, that is called data dot split. Okay, and I'm taking list 2 equal to empty. That means why I'm taking list 2 equal to empty? That means list 2 is an empty list. Okay, list 2 is an empty list. Okay, here I'm giving list 1 dot data dot split, so it will take all the numbers here. So whatever the numbers you are entering, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, so that elements will be splitted with comma. And now list 2 equal to empty for I in range of len of list 1. Now I will write here, you can see I in range of len of list 1. What is the length of list 1? Here how many times I'm taking 5 elements. If no, I would like to prefer this example. Okay, so how many elements we have? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means length of list 1 is 7. Okay, so if okay, that means here I in range of means I starts from 0. You know already. Okay, so 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 6 only, because according to you giving 7 means it will take 0 to 6. That means obviously it is 0, it is 6, you know already. This is last element should be 6. Okay, last element should be 6. Okay, now I'm taking if what the keyword I'm using here, not in. Which operator it is? Can you please tell me in the chat box? Not in is a which operator in Python? Not in is a which operator? Operator name I'm asking. In, not in. What, guys? Yes, Yashashwini, very good. Prabhas, wrong answer. Mehasu, the correct answer. Please answer, guys. You are forgetting the concepts. Then how can you remember Python after if you write if you want the JNTU people will conduct the examination in January month. So I'm thinking like that. Will you remember all these concepts, guys? So actually this is called as a membership operators. Okay, so membership operators. Okay, is an identity operator. Okay, so anyway, so in and not in are the called as membership operator. Membership operator means it will check the particular member is there in the list or not. You can check in this way. Okay, now here I am giving so list one of I. What is the list one of I? So list one of I stands for I value started from 0. You know already. List one of I, that means list one of 0. List one of 0 value is 1. So 1, okay, 1. So not in list 2. So actually list 2 is empty. Yeah, list 2 is empty only. Okay, so that is not there actually. You know already. So that means list 2 dot append of list one of I. That means append method is used to add one item to the particular list. You know already. Okay, that means now list 2 is empty. Actually I'm writing like L2. Okay, so I'm appending list 1 of I stands for I value is 0, list 1 of 0 value is 1. Now list contains L2 contains 1. Okay, you can decide like that. Okay, so you can see output. 1 minute, let me clear this. Okay, 1 comma 2 like that. Okay, it is displaying like that, no problem. So 1 minute. Okay, so listen guys, so after that for loop. Okay, so here not in means it is true, not in means it returns true. You know already what is I think many students forgot about in not in also. That means for example if I'm telling for example if I'm having a list with 3 elements, if I'm giving 10 20 30 like that, 20 in L1, if I'm giving 20 in L1 it will give true. Okay, if obviously it is true, then that code will be executed. Here I am giving not in. Why I am giving not in? Because L2 is empty, guys. Okay, that's the reason I have given not in. So anyway, and let me move to the next concept now. It will move to the for I iteration. That means I 0 iteration is completed. Now I will take 1. Now if list 1 of I not in list 2, that means list 1 of I value is 1, list 1 of 1 value is 2, list 1 of 1 value is 2. That means 2 is not in list 2. What is the number of elements are there? L2 having only 1 only. So 2 is not there in L2. So that the condition is true. L2 dot, that means L2 dot means so list 1 of 1 contains 2. That value will be appended to the list 2. Okay, so that is called list 2 dot append of list 1 of I. So very easy lines, guys. Okay, now again I value will be incremented, guys. So now again I value is 2. List 1 of, that means list 1 of 2 not in list 2. What is the list 1 of 2? List 1 of 2 value is 3. That means 3 also will be written in the list 2. So in the same way it will take 4 5 also, because everything is not in, you know already. So now what is the value? 0 1 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, these are completed. Now I value will be 5, guys. Now I value will be 5. Now it will check list 1 of 5 not in list 2. What is the list 1 of 5 value? List 1 of 5 value is 1. 1 not in list 2. 1 is there in list 2, guys. Okay, so 1 is not in list 2 means condition false. That means that number will not be added to the list 2. That's all. In the same way, that number, the I2 loop will be iterated to 6. So list 2 dot append of list 1 of I. That means list 2 means whatever the list 2 here having. So that means here what list 1 of I means 6. The 6th position is 2. 2 is not in list 2. That means 2 is there in list 2. So you can just leave that concept, because if condition is failed, then it will not be printed, and I iterations are also completed. Now print list 1. Print list 1 means whatever the base numbers. For example, this is not mandatory actually, but he is printing like that. Okay, print of list 1 means whatever the earlier we are taking like 1 2 3 4 5 1 2, it will printed all the elements. Now list after removing all duplicates, the list 2 will be printed. What are the list 2 elements? 1 2 3 4 5. So that for that reason it is getting 1 2 3 4 5 in the runtime. So it is getting, you can see the output. So you can see the output like 1 2 3 4 5 like this. Okay, so anyway I will just send this answer in the chat box. Okay, so because I don't want to forward, because it is very easy, guys. I don't want to forward even actually. Okay, because you just try the program. You don't need to copy and paste, then you will not get anything. Okay, I'm just sending anyway. If you have any doubts, you can just refer it, but try to don't see the program and write the logic then. Okay, every day I use it to tell one program like this, because meanwhile we will complete the lab programs also. Okay, so anyway, we will meet you on Monday again. Okay, so I will tell you, I will send the feedback form link, 1 minute. But try to practice all the programs, guys. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can just ping me, no problem. I will definitely clarify your doubts. Okay, don't worry. Thank you, all of you. So if you have any doubts, I will be here only. Yes, I already forwarded the link, please check. Shall I forward again? You are asking 411. If you don't have any doubts, you can leave, guys, no problem. So time will not be sufficient now. That's the reason I have explained 15th exercise. So meanwhile, in the next class, I will definitely explain 11th and the 12th exercises. Okay. So because according to because you have to write observation also, don't write the 15th exercise in lab programs, because it is not in a proper order. After 10, you just write that 11th exercise only. I will explain 11th exercise. You just do this program in your code tantra. That's all. You don't need to copy in your observation. I will send the material anyway after completion of 2-3 exercises in the next class. Okay. So stay home, stay safe. Bye bye. Take care, all of you. Nobody is asking questions. I wish you all the best for your exams. Definitely, please prepare well and stay home, stay safe.